Very good morning. Very good morning. Check, check, check. Okay. Once again, very good morning. We shall begin with our session today. Today we will start discussing on the topic project management, which is a part of Unit 5. So far we have covered various aspects related to entrepreneurship development in Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3 and Unit 4. To brief you or to recall our memory, in the Unit 1 we have discussed all about an introduction to entrepreneurship development. We have understood what is the concept of entrepreneurship, who is an entrepreneur, what is the difference between an entrepreneur and a manager. We have also discussed and we could differentiate entrepreneurship and intrapreneurship. Further, in Unit 2, we have discussed all about business planning process. There were various steps which are involved in business planning process. We have discussed how to prepare a business plan. That also we have discussed so far. We can say business plan is a blueprint of your business which depicts you want to do in the business, right from vision, mission, core objectives of your business, what you are going to produce, what all materials you procure, where all you are going to market, what are the financial aspects of your business, be it in terms of borrowing and allocation. We have discussed all these things under this title, business planning process and business plan. Further, in Unit 3, we have discussed all about women entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship, rural entrepreneurship, and we have understood this. Now, in the last unit, we will try to understand what is project management. Project management is basically the management of the core functional departments in an organization. Those core departments are basically marketing, finance, production, human resource, and of course research and development department. Need be supply chain department also. These are the core functional departments which are operating in any business organization, and the project management is all about management of these 5 core departments, which are also called as functional departments, which are operating in an organization. Now let us try to understand in the next 5 to 10 minutes what are these 5 core departments or functional departments which operate in an organization. Now if you look at marketing, which is a part of project management again, here the businessman will have to plan for marketing of his produced goods and services meticulously. We have already discussed what is marketing in first semester. We need not to discuss much about that. But in a nutshell to say, marketing is nothing but identifying the customer needs, wants, tastes and preferences and fulfilling them. Now in project management, you as an entrepreneur will have to mention what process you follow to identify customer needs, wants, tastes and preferences, and what marketing tools and techniques you use to satisfy them. In brief, we can say business is all about meeting customer requirements. This is one of the core function of any business organization, and because of that, marketing department has its own role to play in an organization. Now, the second important functional department is, we can say, production. What is this production department do, or what does it do in an organization? We are going to mention this thing in the project management. Basically, production department converts the raw materials into finished products. Now, you as an entrepreneur will have to mention in the project report that how are you going to convert the procured raw materials into finished products. Now, for procurement of raw material also, you need to plan meticulously, and even in the conversion process also you need to adopt suitable method, competitive method, so that you can be able to produce superior quality products with the least cost, so that your customers' requirements are met. This is the second core department of your business, which you need to mention in your project report. Now, at this moment, I would like to make you people understand that these two departments, we call them as line departments. These two departments are called as line departments. On the other side, the remaining three departments, what we have mentioned so far, namely human resource department, finance department, research and development department, or we can say supply chain department. These four departments, we call them as staff functions or staff departments. Now, how will you differentiate these two? One is line and another one is staff. Now, as I told you, out of these 6 core departments which are operating in a business, 2 are line and remaining 4 are staff. Now, how the first 2 are different from remaining 4? We can say the first 2 departments are line departments. Why? Because they are directly contributing towards the end objective of the business, that is profit. Whereas the remaining 4 departments are not directly contributing towards the end objective of the business, that is profit. Rather, they assist, they help the line functions in discharging their duties and responsibilities. For example, finance department, as I told you, is a staff function. Human resource department is a staff function. Research and development department is a staff function. Or supply chain management department is a staff function. Now, how these 4 departments are going to help the remaining 2 departments of an organization? They are marketing and production. That is, Finance department is going to assist, help the all or departments operating in an organization by providing finance as and when required. Similarly, human resource department will provide manpower to all the remaining departments as and when required. In addition, or accordingly, research and development department and supply chain management department, these two departments are also going to assist, help the all departments in their respective areas as and when required. Whereas, as we discussed, production department and marketing department, these two are categorized as line functions because production department converts the raw materials into finished products and marketing department delivers those produced products to the end consumer so that a revenue will be generated to the organization. What it indicates? It indicates that these two departments are going to contribute directly towards the end objective of the business, that is profit. And hence, we say that the first two departments, namely marketing and production department, are called as line department, and remaining 3 or 4, depending upon the organization's policy and size, these 4 departments are called as staff department. Now, in a project report, you people are going to mention the functions of these all departments precisely. As I told you, marketing department, how the businessman is going to identify the customer needs and wants and how he is going to satisfy them. You people are going to mention in that project report. Similarly, production department, as we discussed a couple of minutes before, that how the raw materials are converted into finished products, what method will be used in the conversion process, you people are going to mention in the project report. Okay, these two are over. Now, remaining 4 departments, they are called as staff. One is, first let us try to understand what it does. Now, as I told you all people, finance department is going to allocate, initially it procures money, it allocates money. The job of finance department in a business organization is to procure funds and to allocate funds. Now, we all know finance is the lifeblood of any business organization, and entrepreneur, if he doesn't have adequate money available with him, he cannot be able to run the business smoothly. Now, he has to identify the various sources of finance from where he is going to borrow funds on the basis of need. And that borrowed fund needs to be allocated to the various departments functioning in a business. Now, you as an entrepreneur will have to decide upon, or by taking the help or assistance of finance department, you people will have to take a decision. These all things you people need to mention in your project report. I mean, this is what is project management. Now, next one is human resource management. It is another core function. It is another functional department which is operating in an organization. Unlike finance, human resource department also does the job of procuring manpower and allocating manpower. What human resource department will do? It identifies the manpower, and it procures. Procures meaning, yes, it appoints the manpower, and it ensures that the entire business organization runs smoothly. Now, in the project management, in a project report, you people are supposed to write in detail that what are the various sources of recruitment you people are going to adopt. You people are supposed to mention this, and how you are going to place them in various departments. This also you are going to mention in the project report. Now, as I told you, finance is the lifeblood of any organization. Similarly, manpower is also equally important for the organization. Is it? Without manpower, we cannot be able to run our business. Now, here the point is, human resource department will have to identify and select the right person and place them at the right job so that these employees, selected employees, can be able to do their job properly, and indirectly they can be able to contribute towards the end objective of the business, that is profit. Alright. Now the remaining two staff functions, research and development and supply chain department. These two are also the departments which are operating in an organization, and we categorize them as staff. Why? As I told you, these two departments, like finance and human resource, indirectly supports the all other departments which are operating in an organization. Now let us say R&D, which is research and development department. Okay, that is very much important. Why? Because today we need to conduct research and we need to fulfill the requirements of the customers. Now, if you look at the current marketing conditions or current business environment, which is very dynamic and which is very complex, where the customer needs and expectations are constantly changing. Now, we the entrepreneurs will have to keep a track of those needs and expectations, and we have to produce the products accordingly. I cannot say that I have been producing a product from the last 5-6 decades and let me continue with the same product. Why? Because customers' needs, wants, tastes and preferences are changing constantly or continuously. You people also will have to make changes in your product so that the new product can be able to satisfy, in fact, delight your customers in the market. So because of this, or because of this innovation, you people should have a vibrant, active research and development department which should continuously invent or innovate things, and they can be able to identify the ways and means to satisfy the needs and wants of the customers, which are ever changing. Now, research and development of late is gaining momentum. It is only because of the complex business environment, as I told you. Now, if we don't have this, then our survival will be the biggest question. In other words, we can say, in today's business environment, if you ask yourself, what is constant? Answer for this question is change is the only constant in current business environment. If you don't change, then customers will change you. If you don't change, that change will change you. And because of this, you people are supposed to change as per the requirements of the customers, and you people are supposed to take the help and assistance of R&D, and you people will have to invent, innovate, think, and meet the requirements of the customers. Okay. Now what happens if you take a couple of examples which are there in the market in this context? The examples could be, yes, maybe it is from fast moving consumer goods, or it is from slow moving consumer goods, or it is from consumer durables, or it is from automobiles. If you look at these industries are involved themselves into continuous innovation. The research and development team is continuously in touch with the customers, study their changing needs, wants, tastes and preferences, and they will try to give inputs to the production department so that production department can be able to produce the product as per the customer requirement. As I told you again a couple of minutes before, that if you say, I have been producing existing product from the last 5 decades, let me not to change, or let me not to incorporate any changes into the existing product, then your survival will be in a big work. So because of this, today, or of late I say, research and development department is gaining momentum in business organizations. And hence, research and development department has to help, assist various other functional departments which are operating in an organization, and they should be able to discharge their duties. And it needs to be mentioned in the project management, project report. This is all about project management, project report. There is one more important department, as I told you, supply chain management. Now it depends upon the size of the organization. In a developing country like India, there are many organizations which are in, or which belongs to small scale category. They don't have well set supply chain department existing. Rather, production department only takes care of the functions of supply chain management department. But if you look at this particular department from a global perspective, supply chain department has become vibrant of late, and alike R&D, it is also gaining momentum in the business organization. Now what is the supply chain? We categorize this into again a staff function which is going to help assist the line functions to discharge their duties. What is the supply chain? Supply chain has two extremes. Supply chain has two extremes. At the one extreme you find suppliers, and on the another extreme you people are going to find the customers. The various activities which are discharged in between these two extremes are the activities of supply chain management. As I told you, at the one side you people find suppliers who are going to supply you the various materials which are required for a business organization to produce goods, and on the other extreme you people find customers who are the ultimate. Now in between these two, at the amidst, you people find yourself as a businessman, as an entrepreneur. What you do, you are going to balance both. One side you are going to take the help and assistance from suppliers, and with the help of that, you people try to meet the requirements of the customers. Alright. Now, suppliers are at the one extreme. Now, what do they supply? They supply all that what is required for the production of a product. Be it raw material, be it work in progress, be it finished component, be it various production utilities. These all activities or these all items supplier supplies. Supplier supplies. And you as a businessman, you as an entrepreneur, you procure. You procure these all things from the suppliers. Now, what do you do? Once these materials come from the supplier, you people adopt appropriate method to convert these materials into finished products. Now, here what you do? You take the help and assistance from research and development. You also take the help and assistance from marketing, and you try to produce the product as per the requirements of the customers, or keeping in mind the needs, wants, tastes and preferences of the customer. Okay, you an entrepreneur, you people will try to convert it. The products are ready. The other half of the supply chain is all about taking these produced goods till to the end of consumers. Now, if you look at consumer at once, yes, at present, consumer has everything except one, is time. Consumer is having all that. Consumer is having abundant quantity of money. Consumer is having various other resources which are required, but he is in short of time. So, what is your job as an entrepreneur? Your job is to deliver the product which is produced by you, where the customer requires and when the customer requires. It is the responsibility of supply chain department. Now, as far as supply chain management is concerned, the activities or the scope of this supply chain department was only restricted to supplier and manufacturer in good old times, but today it is extended till to the customer. It means if the produced products are not delivered to the customer when they require and where they require, then your product doesn't have any value. And hence, what do? You people are supposed to take the responsibility of procuring the material, converting those raw materials into finished products, and delivering those products to the customer where they require and when they require. In fact, we say where they require and when they require. These are the two pillars of any business organization today. We call it as two important utilities of an organization. We call it as where they require and when they require. Where they required is called as place utility, and when they required is called as time utility. Now, it is the responsibility of supply chain department to fulfill these two activities or these two utilities. It is the responsibility of supply chain department to locate the prospective customer and deliver the product where they require and when they require. Now, if you look at the businesses today, Yes, they are succeeding in their business, maybe because of they are exceptional, they are very efficient in terms of fulfilling these two utilities of the business. That is, one is place utility and time utility. These two utilities comes into the second half of the supply chain, which is there in between producer and end consumer. Producer and end consumer. Now what happens here? Here, supplier supplies the material, production people produce it, their job is done, production people say कि our job is completed. Then, it is the responsibility of supply chain department to deliver the product where the customer requires and when the customer requires. That is fulfilling time utility and place utility. Now here, supply chain department in association with marketing department will try to identify the prospective customers, and supply chain department will ensure that produced goods are delivered to the place where the customers require and when the customers require. You must be having this experience via online marketing. You must have placed an order for various products online. And if you just study those experiences, you will get to know the importance of supply chain. Now there are various online companies which are operating across the globe, be it Amazon, be it Flipkart, be it Snapdeal. Now, how come these companies could gain so much of importance? How these companies became so popular in the market today? It is only because, yes, customers are confident that whatever they have delivered, companies are going to deliver them, or whatever they have placed an order for, companies are going to deliver them those products at a given time frame. Now even here also, if you just look at offline market, many companies which are producing fast moving consumer goods, in that again we can say there are some products which are perishable items too. To be precise, an example is milk and milk products. What happens here? Yes, milk is produced in the factory. It is the responsibility of that particular factory or that company to deliver that milk sachet to the customer where they require and when they require. Again, time utility and place utility. If the company produces the product which is of a superior quality, and if they fail to deliver that product where the customer requires and when the customer requires, then that company miserably fails in the market. You as an entrepreneur will have to keep it in mind that consumers have everything except one, that is time. And hence you people should take the responsibility of delivering the product where they want, when they want. Okay. Now when we are talking about this milk and milk products are such as, again, there are various milk products which are perishable in nature, and you people should ensure that till those products reaches to the customer, not only reaches to the customer, till those products are consumed by the consumer, those products will remain intact. Okay, let me say, milk is produced in a factory which is far off from market, which is produced and packed in a sachet, that is polythene bag. Now, it needs to be preserved in the required temperature. If failed, then that milk will get converted into byproduct, that is curd. Now what do? You people should see to it that you have produced milk and you have delivered that milk to the customer and consumer has consumed it as a milk. You have produced milk until it reaches to the consumer. If it gets converted into curd, then consumer will not accept it. He says, I want milk, I don't want curd. Similarly, byproduct of milk is ice cream. Till it reaches to the consumer, till it is consumed by the consumer, it should remain as ice cream. It is your responsibility. You cannot pass this responsibility on anybody. Rather, there is nobody to take this responsibility. It is your responsibility to ensure that milk remains milk, ice cream remains ice cream. Suppose during the transit, if your ice creams get converted into milkshake because of not maintaining required temperature, and by that time that ice cream reaches to the consumer, if it is converted into milkshake, then consumer say, I have not placed an order for milkshake, rather I have placed an order for ice cream. These are a couple of examples which highlight the importance of time and place utility. This highlights the importance of time and place utility. Of course, these two utilities fulfillment is the responsibility of supply chain department or supply chain management. Now, what type of supply chain you people will try to follow? You people are supposed to mention it in the project report or in project management. You people will have to pen it down, so that you people will have a comprehensive project report. You people will have a comprehensive project plan, and that will guide you during your entrepreneurship. You people cannot plan for all these things as and when required. No, it is not possible. You as an entrepreneur will have to plan for all these activities well in advance, and you should have a copy in hand in the form of project report. A small deviations here and there is acceptable, but you people should have this particular plan in hand well in advance, so that you people can be able to run your business as an entrepreneur without having any hassles, without having any issues. And hence, project report is must. Project report is an important document you people need to prepare well in advance for your business. Now, let us move towards the comparison of this project report and business plan. As we have discussed in Unit 2, business plan is a blueprint of your business which is essentially required for you people to submit for the procurement of finance. Say for example, you people are having a plan to borrow money from various financial institutions, be it bank or any other financial institution. That time, that financial institution asks for a business plan. It is a blueprint of your business. We have already discussed this. Now, apart from this business plan, they will ask you one more important document, that is called a project report. Of course, which is a part of a business plan. You people are supposed to prepare these two documents parallelly. We can say that project report is a part of business plan. You people are supposed to plan, prepare, these two documents well in advance so that these two documents will be helpful for you in the process of procuring finance from various banks and financial institutions. Apart from this, you people require these two documents even while seeking permission from the government. We have discussed this in Unit 3, establishing an enterprise. You people need to complete so many formalities with the government, and you need to submit so many documents, and these two are important amongst them. Now, when you people are applying for starting up a business, that time, yes, you people are required to submit these two documents to the government for seeking permission for the establishment of your business. And those two documents are, of course, one is business plan and second one is project report, which is of course a part of business plan. Now, why these two are so important and why governments and financial institutions are behind these two documents from the entrepreneurs. These two documents are going to give an idea about your business to them. These two documents briefly tell them what is your business, why you want to establish your business, where you are going to establish your business, who is going to establish the business, and when you are going to establish the business. Again, 5 important questions of management: what, where, why, when, and who. From managerial perspective, yes, these 5 questions can be answered to those bureaucrats with the help of these two documents. One, business plan, and second one is project report. There is a format by and large which is used. There is no hard and fast rule as such कि a businessman will have to follow the given format while preparing a business plan or a project report. It varies from company to company, it varies from industry to industry, but there are general formats which you can be able to follow and you can be able to prepare that. Alright. Now we have understood today the project report, and we have also understood you as an entrepreneur, you people should start working on these two, and they should be logical. Majority of the times, yes, this project report or a business plans are too vague, and hence the businessman end up with either not getting a business, or he will get a business permission from the company, from the government, but he will get stuck in between. And hence, the businessman or an entrepreneur need to prepare these two documents, namely business plan as well as project report, with logic. Why? Because ultimately he is going to face these two documents before any financial institution or bank or bureaucrats of the government. And hence these two documents need to be carefully planned and logically prepared so that yes, you getting a permission from the government You seeking a finance from the various financial institutions will be free. With this, we can be able to conclude our today's session, and in the next session we can be able to discuss the various components of business plan in detail, and we will try to understand that with the help of little more clarity. Thank you.